Welcome to Movie Caps. Today, I will show you a sci-fi action movie from 2001, titled, Replicant. The movie is about Jake Riley, a Seattle police detective, who had spent 3 years trying to stop Garrote. Edward the Torch Garrote was a serial killer, who had a penchant for killing women with kids and then setting them on fire. Now that Riley retires, the NSA comes into play here and offers a job to Riley. A replicant, or better a clone of the killer, should help him find the real one, as a kind of test if it works out. Now Riley is back on track, with a clone of the killer. Will he be able to put an end to the carnage of this psycho femicide? Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie starts with a single mother, calling the police. She tells the police that she is in danger, and a man is trying to kill her. She begs them to help her, and save her from the mad man that is after her. The killer finds her and breaks her phone. The woman starts crying, and asks him why he is doing this, and what he wants from her. The killer tells her that she is a bad mother, and does not deserve to live. He kills her, and sets her body on fire. The woman's child is also present in the place. The killer grabs him so he can kill the child too. In the meantime, the police arrive on the scene, so the killer tries to escape. The fire spreads everywhere in the house, and the killer runs away, with the child still stranded in the house. Detective Jake Riley arrives on the scene, and saves the child from the fire. He manages to get a glimpse of the killer while he is escaping, and sees the killer was wearing a black leather jacket. Jake starts chasing the killer, and at one point, his hand gets a minor cut and starts bleeding. Jake finds him running away in a car and shoots him, but the killer runs over Jake. Jake does not die, he just gets minor injuries. The rescue team and EMT arrive. Detective Jake Riley is a Seattle police detective, and it is revealed that he had spent 3 years chasing this killer. The killer's name was Edward the Torch Garrote, who had a habit for killing single women, and setting them on fire. All of his victims were mothers. It is Jake's last day in the police force, after which he will retire. But then, he is approached by a couple of national security agents. They give him a mission. The mission is to find and kill the killer known as the Torch. Jake refuses their offer, and tells them that he is retiring. They try to convince him, and tell him that if the torch is not stopped, then more innocent women will be killed, and people will be living in fear. Jake is a good guy, and he took an oath to serve and protect good people in their lives, so he agrees with the agents, and tells them that he will help them in catching the sadistic maniac. Just days before Jake's retirement, Garrote strikes again, but Jake is off the case. During his retirement party, Jake receives a call from Garrote. He tells Jake that his next victim will be him, and after killing him, he will kill Jake's friends and family. Jake gets angry and smashes the phone, because he knows he cannot do anything right now to stop Garrote. Realizing he needs to be stopped no matter what, he sets out to stop him. He goes to the base of the national security, with the agents who approached him, to consult on their special project. They show and tell him that they have found DNA evidence of Garrote at a crime scene, and they are making a clone of Garrote the Torch, that will be exactly like him. They tell Jake that this clone will be able to help him find Garrote, because he will have the same mindset and perspective as him, which will give them more insight. It is revealed that the national security is making this clone illegally, and they don't have any official government license or permission for it. They need Jake's help to train this replicant, who has genetic memories from Garrote, and a telepathic link to him. The replicant has the body of a 40-year-old, but the mind of a child. Jake's job is to help the replicant track Garrote down, by using the memories stored in Garrote's DNA. Jake brings the replicant some food, and tries to communicate with him. The replicant gets scared, but then Jake calms him down. He shows the replicant his handcuffs, and cuffs him. The replicant gets more worried, and starts to panic, so Jake neutralizes him. Jake now takes the replicant with him to find the killer, alongside the 2 national security agents. Jake manages to ditch the 2 agents, so he can get some answers out of the replicant through his personal tricks. He takes the replicant to an old and abandoned building, and asks him the location of the torch, because he knows they both are genetically and telepathically linked with each other. The replicant is still learning and processing. He has no idea what Jake is talking about, and that he is telepathically linked with a psychopathic misogynist killer. Jake takes out his gun, and points at the replicant, asking him again to tell him about the location of the killer. The 2 national security agents arrive, and they tell Jake to lower his gun, otherwise he is going to compromise their mission. They all get in a dangerous fight, but it ends with Jake escaping, and taking the replicant with him. He takes the replicant to a vacant house, where the torch had killed a woman. When they go inside the house, the replicant starts to have flashbacks. He starts seeing the torch killing a woman inside the house, and setting it on fire, and leaving the women inside the house. The scene cuts to the torch, and we see him passing by a lady with her little child. He sees that the woman is scolding her son, and he thinks that she is a bad mother. Now, Jake takes the replicant back to his house and handcuffs him, and locks him in his storeroom, so no one gets startled. He talks with his wife, while their dog enters the storeroom to eat his food. The replicant sees the dog's food, and starts eating it as well. Meanwhile, Jake's son enters the store looking for their dog. He sees the replicant cuffed and eating dog food, so he offers him some chocolate. All of a sudden, we hear the boy scream. Jake and his wife rush towards their son, and see that he is bleeding from his mouth. Jake starts to beat the replicant thinking he did something to his son, but it turns out that the dog had attacked their son, and not the replicant. Jake gets concerned, so he takes the replicant to his mother's house. On their way, the national security stops and confronts him. They ask him why he has not given them any updates about their location till now, and why he took the replicant to the house where Torch had killed his victims. Jake now figures out that they have put a tracker in the replicant, so he takes the replicant to the washroom, and strips his clothes off. He starts searching the replicant's body to find the tracker, but fails to locate it. Jake's mom walks in on them, and sees her son with a naked man. She asks him what he is doing to him. She worries and asks him why he thinks of everyone as an enemy. She understands the replicant's situation, and tells him to just listen to her for once. He listens to her, and starts treating the replicant with care and kindness. The next day, Jake takes a snapshot of the replicant, and scans his images to find any information or records about the Torch. He finds out that the Torch is a man named Edward Garrott, and sees his current address. The replicant and Jake begin to hunt Garrott. Jake believes the replicant could turn him on at any time, as Garrott's killer instinct may take over. The replicant tries to understand the world, and his connection with Garrott. Though Jake is abusive, the replicant looks to him for protection and guidance, as they close in on Garrott. Garrott and the replicant confront each other in a bar, after Garrott fails to kill Jake with a bomb. He kills a bartender, but lets the replicant live. An origin story shows that Garrott was abused by his mother, who then killed her unfaithful husband, and tried to burn their house down, which reveals why Garrott hates women. They confront each other later in a parking garage. Garrott tries to convince his brother that Jake cannot be trusted. Frustrated that Garrott got away, Jake asks why the replicant let him go. The replicant replies, "We are the same." Jake tries to tell the replicant that Garrott is a sociopath, but he refuses to listen. They find out Garrott's real name, Luke Savar, and go to the hospital to talk with Savar's mother, but she had already died of a heart attack. Garrott arrives and beats Jake, and also wants his brother to join him by killing Jake, but he refuses, forcing Garrott to try and execute both of them. Jake and the killer fight, leading to an ambulance chase in the parking garage. The van crashes into a toll booth, but the killer escapes. He hits Jake with a shovel, and plans to burn him alive. The replicant and the killer fight again in the hospital's furnace room. The replicant wants to kill Garrott, but realizes that he is not a killer like him. Garrott hits the replicant with a shovel, which causes Jake to shoot him. The replicant suddenly understands that Jake is his real family. An air conditioner, damaged in the fight, explodes, supposedly killing the replicant, after he gets Jake to safety. Upset by the death of his new partner, Jake decides to retire from his new job as a consultant. Weeks later, Jake is with his wife Ann and stepson Danny. He spots a man in a raincoat, putting a package in their mailbox. However, he realizes the replicant is alive, when he finds the package contains a music box as a gift for Jake's help. The replicant is shown dating a hooker. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications and leave a like to help the channel out.